also solo them, so I can just hear these parts alone. Now I'm going to highlight these two so you just hear the clarinet and the flute. And I want you to notice that when it gets to the repeats here, I've got 2 repeats set up, and then I've got a first ending and a second ending. Now the way to do the endings is you would click on the measure where you want that first ending to be, and you just hit L for the line tool. And this tool right here comes up, and it has your endings. And down here you have more different types of endings. You have a first and second ending. You have a second ending, a third ending, and so forth. And so you can build lots of things. The line tool also has a lot of the retardando, rallentando, accelerando, poco retardando, and so forth. And so you have lots of stuff like this, and it'll actually play these. You have glissandos, you have trills, and so forth. So that's how you do the first and second endings. And then of course the repeats are just put in for, it's under note input over here. I'm wrong. It's under notations, and then it's under bar line. And here's the start repeat and the end repeat and your double bar and finale and all that kind of stuff. So like if you wanted to put a final bar or a double bar like right here, you'd click that little bar line, and then you would go to double bar, and you could see it put a double bar there. Now if I don't want it, I just highlight it again, it turns purple, and I delete it, and then we're good to go. So let me play the woodwind part through here and watch what happens, because the first time through the top part is not going to play, but the bottom part here will, and then the second time through the top part will play along with the bottom part. So you're just hearing the bottom here. Now both. And you hear the duet. Now how do we do it? It's very simple. You have to highlight the notes that you want to play. So like, let's say I wanted the clarinet part here plays the first time through. Watch, if I hit this, right, that plays first time through. But let's say I don't want this measure to play first time through, but this one I do. What I'm going to do is highlight this measure only, right click, and you're going to go down to Inspector, and this little thing comes up here. And in the Inspector, you'll see on playback this little thing here, and you can click this if it's not open. And for play on pass, first pass will say off. So on the second pass and subsequent passes, it'll play. And you have lots of different passes. So if you were doing lots of repeats, if you were doing Broadway stuff especially, and you had a lot of vamps, and then you wanted to say, okay, you're in on the first, third, fifth, and seventh time, but you're out the second. You could do all kinds of great stuff. You can set the live velocity of the sound so it's greater. That'll affect the volume, and more or less it'll affect the frequency. Whether it's a real bright, the higher you go, the brighter the sound will get. Like the wind player was playing with a harsher tone or trying to play louder, and the lower you go on this, they're playing with less power, maybe playing a mezzo forte or something like that. So I'm going to take the velocity down a little bit. And then now let's go ahead. I can shut that, and now click the clarinets here, and you'll notice no sound there, but then there's sound here. Now to play it. And so it plays it on the second time, but not the first. And that's essentially how you do that. Now I'm going to go back and keep that in, because I actually want that to play both times. So we're going to hit that and then take it off. And what I did here is highlight the top line only, like do this, and then you actually would go to your filter tool. This is the way I had to do this one. So, go to the Home tab, go to Filter, and I filter it out. So it's not really top note in this case because I've got it in voices. So I filtered out voice 1, and then I did a right click on the note so that I could get voice 1, hit the inspector, and of course you'll see that I've taken the first time off, play second time in any subsequent time, and so that's how I did that one. So if you've got into multiple voices and you want the top voice to play and not the bottom voice, you'd have to highlight that voice, then do the right click, hit the inspector, and go ahead and set it up. So little things.